Got cut off there. That's probably going to happen a lot until I clean my phone out or upgrade to one that has a little more storage. But anyhow, as I was saying, even after you hit a point where you're in remission, you're well on your way to recovery, still, anytime you come up against this kind of stuff, whether intentionally, if you're making efforts to do this as part of an ERP sort of thing, or just because life throws stuff at you unexpectedly, which it will continue to do. So you really do need to keep up with this stuff and put it into practice daily, really integrate it into who you are and how you operate in this world now. But even after things have really settled into a place where not only has your mind adjusted to this new way of thinking, but your brain has gotten a lot better at not having this same response every single time, still there will be these moments where your brain's going to send you a signal that you are in threat, that you are in danger, and if you then don't listen to your brain, you say, I know what you're doing, I know what's going on here, and I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna heed your warnings, and I'm not gonna do the compulsive behavior that you're telling me to do. Your brain can still slip back into that mode where, as I said, it is really trying to help you. It's trying to keep you safe, and it has been under the impression this whole time, however long you've been dealing with this stuff, that it's doing a good job of that because, the OCD cycle sends out this threat from your amygdala, your lizard brain, and then you engage in a compulsive behavior, and that really does seem to help. It makes you feel better in that moment. It reassures you and it relieves some of the anxiety that you're feeling. So your brain, of course, then interprets that as you saying, "Oh, good job, brain. You did the right thing here because you told me I was in danger. I did this thing that you were suggesting I should do. And now I do feel a little bit better." Of course, we know it's temporary, and that's only going to reinforce to the brain that since it did the right thing, it should do it more, and it should be more on the lookout for situations that even only somewhat resemble the initial one. And so from that, it really can snowball out into this ever-widening circle of things that the brain is looking out for and trying to keep you safe from, none of which are actually dangers to you. But so when you first start refusing to listen to your brain, refusing to heed its warnings, it's going to think, uh-oh, she didn't hear me. I'd better say it louder, or I'd better throw another warning into the mix. And it is a very, very difficult thing when that starts happening, when this ERP kickback kind of starts hitting you in the face. You refuse to do something, refuse to engage in a compulsion, and it might be that your brain is just screaming louder and louder to do the compulsion that you're not doing. But from that, it can also be that it says, okay, well, you're not doing that. Well, I still need to get you to respond to me. I need to get you to react so that I can keep you safe. So what about this other thing? What about that thing? What about this? And we're all used to having these spiraling obsessive thoughts, but especially going through this process, it becomes very, very intense, and things get piled on top of each other before we're able to clear anything out of the way. And that is how it actually should be. It's how it has to go. And that's something that for me has been helpful in these really acute stages of just, forcing myself to confront the trigger, even bring it on intentionally, and then refuse to do the compulsive behavior that I feel such a strong urge to do. It's really helpful for me to keep in mind that my brain is screaming at me right now. because it's trying to keep me safe, but I need to show it that it doesn't need to do that anymore. And it's going to keep screaming and it's going to keep throwing more and more stuff at me. But if I just wait and refuse to engage in compulsions, it will get the idea that these things are not problematic, and it will remind me of them less and less over time. So stay strong. Sometimes that's all you can do, especially at times when it is really overwhelming like this. You know, there are certain times when if you feel strong enough, you can really lean into the anxiety and really up the ante and, you know, introduce new elements to trigger you. But sometimes when you're right in the thick of it, all you can do is just sort of stand your ground and try not to let it sweep you backwards. So there is no shame in that. And even if you do end up taking a couple steps back, please be kind to yourself and remember, you know, all the cliches are true. Tomorrow's another day. Single failure is not an ultimate failure. All of these things. And something else that I heard the other day, which I may already have mentioned. How dare I repeat myself, but it's really been helpful for me as kind of a mantra to keep in mind that I do want to be courageous with this. I do want to be brave, and there's no such thing as courage. There's no such thing as bravery without fear. If you don't feel fear, then courage and bravery do not exist. It's just someone doing a thing that comes easily to them, and there's nothing at stake there. So I know it doesn't feel pleasant to feel fear and to feel anxiety, but also if you can, try to remind yourself that it really is an opportunity to be brave. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't, but that's just how it goes. And that will be all for now.